Okay, everyone, hi. Let's talk about the next phase in evolution. I'm going to call this one the Jesus era. So this is a segment that I will call Jesus and Pals. So these are the people on Earth who I would consider to be teachers. So once you're comfortable eating and gathering food and having a comfortable, sustainable living, and you feel that your tribe or your clan can prosper, then you should get down pat the idea of teaching your people ideas and knowledge and strengths to make your tribe or clan flourish in the concepts of construction, wisdom, and honesty and sincerity. Would actually come innately. I just thought of that, but that's another good word that relates to just the ideas that people should incorporate. But that's more of I guess a feminine role or feminine teachership. So that's kind of what the feminine counterpart would be: to be teaching people to be comfortable being themselves, to be happy with themselves, being themselves, and to find happiness, prosperity through genuinity, I guess. So those are essentially the things that will make a society great in the next phase of their evolution, which is to begin the concepts of teaching people and to gain hierarchy in the roles of teaching under the fact that one of them could be considered a guru or a grand leader or a grand teacher, and would be instructing people on principles that are considered novel or new. And anyone who learns from these principles could then teach other people these principles after having learned them and incorporated them and ingrained them into his intelligence and his intellect, and is able to conceptualize them in a way in which he can coherently communicate them to other people. So once someone has been able to do these things, that person can share that knowledge with other people in a way in which society can go great through the sharing of information and knowledge, which makes everyone smarter and more intelligent. As a result, things just progress on a higher level because more people can handle things because they're more capable of, because they don't hit roadblocks within their own abilities to handle situations. So with wisdom comes the ability to learn things innately. So the wiser you are, the more able you are to solve problems in general. So as civilizations get wiser, they begin to avoid more and more problems, and they begin to go on a more positive and progressive path towards flourishment. So in the ideology of just keeping in mind the three main goals of society, I think it's to flourish, to prosper, and to live long, and not to go extinct early on and shut itself out, kind of like how Nazism and its ideology kind of sputtered out, I guess, or how certain empires kind of fumbled and fell when they could have, progressed through their golden age or golden years. Maybe I was gonna say, maybe thinking of Golden Girls, but through like their golden era, to like a pinnacle peak where they maxed out with a superlative wonder or something of the world. But it's odd when certain things get in the way, like the idea of the theory of Nazism and the idea of creating a perfect society, and it's somehow seemed to fall short in execution. I don't know. Anyway, the idea is, I guess, just teaching people important. This is important so that they learn, so that they can teach others. And once that knowledge has been spread and shared, and everyone knows those truths or those inner workings or inner knowledges that can help them to succeed in a society, then everyone is able to work towards the overall prosperity of that society. That being said, people within different ranks could specialize and teach different branches of knowledge based on what they could learn on their own through research or through individual specialization or just unique experiences, and share the knowledge on their own accounts and help a civilization to prosper in that aspect. Also, the third point is, I guess, guruship, and that's just maybe innate skills too. Anything that can be passed on from father to son, and that's kind of more of like here's what I know and here's what I can teach you, but more like life lessons. So that's kind of the best way to put it. But I guess that's kind of like I forget what the word it was I used before, but it ties back to that. So. Or at least all the points I was going to make about the whole owning your skill or your unique personal strengths. So, in teaching someone to master their strengths, but to do so in an overall way, is a good quality. I'm trying to think now if that overlaps with the feminine roles of just loving yourself, knowing thyself, and being true to yourself. But it's very apparent because you can definitely sense like that motherly tone to the way you feel whenever you think of those things, because it reminds me of like a mother figure whenever I think of that. But anyway, I would definitely say that the strengths, though, to master your strengths, to master yourself, to master your discipline or whatever it is you're good at, to be disciplined more specifically, is a fatherly role to instill in this kid. So that's still, I think, under the category of what a teacher could be said to do to instill something to his students. Or I don't know. I think this falls under mastership. So I'll talk about this later. But in regards to teaching things, the third thing I think would be is it knowledge? Let's go with awareness. I know. Yeah. So actually, whatever they're aware of that could help them succeed in life, so anything like that can be passed on. As far as practical applicability. So, like, let's say someone who's good at football could teach their kids some football tricks or advice to give them better, like, here, try this move on the field, try like the stiff arm or something like that, super effective. Or like maybe they do like into Greco-Roman wrestling and teach their kid like the suplex or something like that. That'd be interesting or useful. But anyway, anything you can pass on to give them, and I think of these things in terms of sports, because I think at this point in time, teaching people that peace over war is always useful is definitely something to instill that should be like almost common sense at that point, because that's just working towards the greater good. So that's definitely something to strive for, because certain things are just innately betterly suited for the human race than other things, namely alternatives. So certain things like harmony definitely prosper over chaos. Certain things like truth definitely prosper over evil. So those are the things that should be reinforced in the grand scheme, but things on like the personal level and like the day-to-day basis could definitely just be more like, here's some things that I could teach to you based on what I know and what I'm good at. So that's essentially the teacher-student role. So that's how I view number two, but the second progression in the evolution of man series that I'm still working on. So I'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.